Please welcome her to the stage, Jess Brooke.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty short. I'm standing there in 6-inch stripper heels with a tiny purple sequins bikini. There's 1,000 people looking at me at Crown Ballroom, and I'm 19 years old, and I'm competing in a bodybuilding competition. Something that I decided to do 4 months prior while I was sitting in a bus coming from Fremantle after a day of university, doing a degree that was not serving my passion, and I was sitting in the seat looking out the window, and it was like a grey, gloomy, cold July afternoon, and I had 2 chocolate bars in my hand because I'm a comfort eater, and I was just feeling so empty inside, and I was really lost and sad, and just kept asking myself, like, what are you doing with your life, Jessica? And I was getting frustrated because I kept talking about wanting to do things. Like, I wanted to get into my fitness, I wanted to watch my diet, and here I am, like, shoveling chocolate down my mouth, like, probably for the second time that day. And I looked down and I was like, you know what, fuck this. This is shit. I don't like feeling this way. There's a bodybuilding competition coming up, so I'm just going to do that. And I finished the chocolate, and the next day I went to the gym, and there was a PT there, so your typical like big, like bearded gym guy, Ben. And I was like, yo, October, sign me up, let's do it. And he was like, cool, get on the scales. So I weighed 64 kgs. And then he was like, get on the treadmill. I was like, and he was like, no, seriously. I was like, oh God, this is starting right now. And it did. Every day for 4 months, I would get up and I would walk 1 kilometre on the treadmill at 5 kilometres an hour, but at 15% incline, which everyone that feels like you're climbing Mount Everest every day. My hip flexors were like, we've had way more fun sitting on the bus. And then 3 months out, I was now 62 kgs, and that's when my diet really started, and that's when my training really kind of ramped up. So I would do my run in the morning, and my walk in the morning. I'd wake up at 5, I'll go do my 8 hours of biomed, and then I'd come back and do like an hour and a half of strength training or more rigorous and like RPM sprints. And my body was just screaming at me. It was like, stop, this is not your definition of fun. And I just remember looking around, like in the morning, there will be war veterans who are 19 years old doing their thing. And I was like, I'm 19, I have no excuse. And then like I would be on the RPM and my legs will be burning, like screaming, and they will be hard because of all the lactic acid buildup. And this voice would come over me and it would just say, like, keep pushing, like, don't give up. You could do it. And that started feeling that emptiness that was in me, and it was just my driving force. And I became fanatical about my training. I never missed a day, never missed a session, but I became a lunatic about my diet. If the devil wears Prada, the devil wore Lycra, and it was awful living with me. My parents are in the audience, they could attest that I was an absolute nightmare. When I was cooking, my parents had to have a day out because I would just shit on them if they breathed. And this one time I would eat 100 grams of chicken, nothing more, nothing less. And my brother, being a brother, he was like, oh, that's nice, and ate my chicken. It was 10 grams full, and I lost it. I was like, you don't fucking understand, I'm so fucking hungry. And I got in the car and I drove to Coles and got a whole nother chicken breast just for that 10 grams. And it was worth it because my diet consisted of no love, no salt, no sugar, no sauces, because there was like calories. And the stress was just compounding. I was losing so much weight. I was losing a kg each week, and I was always freezing cold, kind of like tonight actually. And I would remember I would wake up and there would be bruises on my body because there would be like no fat to insulate my bones, and I would be walking, and my thighs love each other now, but at that time nothing was telling me that I'm moving, and it was like an alien. I was like, I'm moving, but I don't feel like I'm moving. And the stress was just compounding, and it was getting more and more hectic. The more I lost weight, the more exhausted I became, and I left my job. I stopped having my periods. I also was like failing at uni, and but it was worth it because that voice in my head was like, just keep going, this is all worth it. And I thought one day, on my comp day, I would finally be able to relax, but I woke up and I had slept with my hands on my belly, and I had got a tan before, and now there was white marks on my belly, so I lost it again. I was like, oh my God, you can't go up on stage like this. And my friend, who was my tanner, she was like, don't worry, boo, we got you, we'll tan you again. And I was gifted this delicious meal by my coach. He was like, you could have some crunchy peanut butter on toast. And my mom came over, and if I could embody love making on a plate, it was that peanut butter on toast, because I was eating toast just plain, and now this like sexy mess was oozing into the toast. And I put it in my mouth, and I was like transported to another dimension. It was like hot and moist and nutty and salty, and it was a very good experience for me in that moment. So afterwards, I went and got my tan fixed up, which involved me bending over butt naked in front of my friend while she was eye level with my asshole, tanning all my crevices. It was a very good bonding experience. I highly recommend it. And after that pleasant experience, I then got in my tiny bikini and I went to Crown and I saw Ben. So now we're backstage and I have to get oiled up, and he took it very seriously, like he was basting a roast chicken or something. And we're getting all pumped up, and he goes, cool, you're ready. Make sure you smile, make sure you tense your muscles and have fun. And then he left me, and suddenly I'm there in my 6-inch heels, and I'm like, who is this woman? Like 50 shades of tan, leanest I've ever been in my life. And now I'm like about to go in front of 1,000 people semi-naked. And it was time. I was so ready for it. I was in this like dark curtained area to the side of the stage. I could hear 1,000 people. I just couldn't see it. And I could just feel the adrenaline coming up. My body was vibrating. Everyone's shitting themselves. And I was like, come on, let's go. And it was like you would take one step each time someone would go up and do their routine, and then next minute, like the girl in front of me, she has to do the 3 steps of death, and like I'm not acquainted with walking in 6-inch heels, so that was terrifying. But 1, 2, 3, I got up because I was not going to fall then. And she's doing her routine, and then my heart is like doof, 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 and I'm like, come on, get me on that stage. And then it goes quiet, and I hear, next up, Jessica Brooke. Game on. I am moving my body, and I'm like looking so sexy. I'm like, pow, tense, smiling, like this is normal. Side angle, booty pop, hello. Booty pop, a little back angle, this side, trying to not fart. And I'm smiling, and then I do my pose and do my routine, and then I'm at the backstage, everyone else is doing, and you're just squeezing, and you're like literally shaking because your muscles are like, I can't squeeze anymore. And then we get into a line, and you're still squeezing, you're still smiling, someone chucks something around my neck, and then they say, well done, you can relax, and like you just receive this roar of 1,000 hands applauding you. And suddenly I like see my support team and my parents, and I like see them beaming at me, and they're filled with pride, and I'm filled with pride in myself, and I'm like vibrating because I'm just there, and I finally walked the talk. I didn't talk the talk. I finally did it, and it was all worth it, because when I looked down, I'd finally won my participation medal. Thank you.